Hey guys, it's Paul once again with a Blu-ray review, and today we are talking about the new Nekromantik Blu-ray. Now, just to get it out of the way, I do not like this movie at all. I put this as an upgrade from the DVD, and the DVD went out of print a long while ago, and the prices for the DVD were like 50 or above. But of course I bought this because I like the Blu-ray format, and you gotta have this film in your collection if you're into weird, bizarre, strange things, right? There aren't any other necrophilia type movies. But with that aside, this is not a very good movie, but some people love it. It looks bad. It was shot in Super 8. The dark scenes look absolutely terrible in this movie, and it sounds terrible, and it's just a very gimmicky movie. I mean, they even have a scene of, I think, a chicken or some kind of farm animal being butchered, of course, for more shock appeal. I like some movies that might be considered shock films, like Cannibal Holocaust, but I think a movie like Cannibal Holocaust, although it might be considered a shock film, has a lot more substance than this movie. This movie is just merely made for shock. I felt like the director and him and his friends were hanging out around a lunch table at school, in high school, and they thought to themselves, what would be a really sick movie, dude? What hasn't been done before? How about a chick who screws dead guys? And that's the kind of film this is. It just feels like a 16-year-old boy made this film, and it looks like it too. I don't want to, come down too hard on the director, but it's just not a very good movie. And to this day, and this was made in 1987? To this day, he's still touring the world with this movie. He'll always be known for the guy who made the necrophilia movie. But unfortunately, it's just not a good movie. He just found a gimmick that has not yet been exploited, and did it full notch with this movie, and he'll forever be known as that guy who made the necrophilia movie. And I'm not sure if that's such a great role to have. And I've seen some of his other films, and of course I remember seeing Shram a long time ago, and if I remember correctly, a guy hammers a nail into his penis. I mean, it's just more pointless shock to me. So I mean, I don't really consider it a good film, but like I said, if you're into exploitation, weird cinema, even shock cinema, you gotta have this in your collection just as a conversation piece. And I think there are some merit in some shock films, but this is just not a very good one. Okay, so that's my opinion on Nekromantik. Now let's talk about this Blu-ray. Now, like I said, I bought this as an upgrade from my DVD. Now, when I pre-ordered this, it had a stock image of the cover art. It says limited edition of 2,000 copies. And so, of course, I thought this is going to sell it right away. I better get it before it sells out. And it was $30. Whenever you have something of a very limited run, the price is high because they're not mass producing them. So, of course, I immediately pre-ordered it and I sold my DVD. I wanted to sell the DVD right away before it dropped in value. Then I got this yesterday, and I was shocked to see it have a different sticker on there. Now it says limited to 10,000. Now that's a dramatic difference. 2,000, 10,000. Okay, so when I ordered this, I ordered it thinking it was limited to 2,000 movies, not 10,000. And that's why I bought it right away, because I didn't want it to sell out. But now it's saying 10,000. If it's limited to 10,000, shouldn't the price be a little bit lower because you're not producing as many of them? That really bothered me because I guess I look at this at two ways. One, they started to get all the pre-orders in, and then they realized, wow, a lot of people pre-ordering this, we better make a lot more of them. Or, if you are more cynical, you might think that, let's just in the beginning say it was just 2,000, so everybody buys one right away, and then we'll really just make a lot more. Now, I don't know what the story is. It's probably the first one. I really hope it's not the second story. Because this was just false advertising. Limited to 2,000 is a particular claim. That's a fact. And now, the one that you get is limited to 10,000. This is not what I bought. I bought one that was limited to 2,000. It's saying 10,000 now. It really bothers me. I feel like it got kind of ripped off, almost. Okay? As you can see, it's not numbered or anything. So, I don't know. I think they should make a statement about that, Cult Epics. Because that's just not right. You can't just start making more of them because you can, because you're going to make more money from them. That's not right to all the people who pre-ordered it for thinking that there was only 2,000 copies. And it has a nice array of special features. It's almost identical to the DVD, except instead of another short film of his, this has a different film, and it is, what is it? It's Hot Love, made in 1985. And it actually has a commentary and a featurette with that, which is kind of interesting if you're into this director. But what's interesting on the back of this, it says, never before released short film. That was actually released on VHS in the 80s by Film Threat. So it has been released before. But I guess it depends on how you read this sentence. It says, never before released short film, Hot Love in HD. So maybe it means never before released in HD. I don't know. It has two versions of the movie. One is, there's only one 35mm print, if I remember correctly, of this movie. And one version of the movie on this disc was transferred from the 35mm print, which was kind of scratched, very grindhousey look. And then the other is a transfer taken directly from the Super 8 negative. Now, one of the things that also bothered me is that it says that it has the original motion picture soundtrack. Now, I think some people, when they first pre-ordered this, might have thought that it was on a separate disc. I remember Nekromantik 2 had a separate soundtrack disc. But no, all it is a menu on the Blu-ray. It's just a menu. We'll go through the menus and show you in a little bit, but yeah, there's no separate disc for the soundtrack on here. Now, when you buy this, it comes with these two limited edition cards. And they seem to make a big deal about it because they write about it on the cover on this sticker here. Includes Nekromantik, collectible artwork by Johnny Ryan, and necrophilia photo of Beatrice M. And so this is what you're getting. It's a stupid, goofy cartoon image. What am I going to do with this? Just look at it? It's like a... It's just something that was mass-produced at Staples or something. It's... I don't know. And then, of course, you get this. Just a still frame from the movie or something. But if you look at it, mine has all those streaks on it. Like, what the hell is that all about? It's not even a good quality print. Again, it's just one of those mass-produced postcards, so I'm not really impressed with that. That's not why I bought it, but to make a big deal about it, it seems kind of silly. Alright guys, so here's the main menu of the Nekromantik Blu-ray. And, of course, they show some of the most shocking scenes right in the main menu. So if you haven't seen this movie before, seeing the main menu is gonna ruin some of the shock value of it, of seeing it for the first time, which is kind of silly. I sometimes wonder who designs these menus on these Blu-rays and DVDs. Let's look at the bonus material here. Alright, so it comes with a Grindhouse 35mm print, which is interesting. It looks pretty much the same as the new Super 8mm transfer, but just more scratched and gritty. Here you have like a 40-minute Q&A with the director. Then it has the making of Nekromantik and then Nekromantik featurettes. I believe those two are on the DVD as well. This time around we have Hot Love, which is another film from the director. And interestingly enough, it comes with a commentary track, which is pretty cool, and a featurette on that film. And that's what we get here. But something that bothers me is this original motion picture soundtrack. When we click this, it just goes to a blank menu playing the music in the background. You can't click tracks, you can't really do anything, which is quite a disappointment. If you're going to claim to have the original motion picture soundtrack, at least have it maybe over the movie, or have it as a separate disc, which I believe they did with Nekromantik 2. It has that separate soundtrack disc. And of course you have an audio commentary with the director, which is probably the same as the commentary on the DVD. I can't say with certainty, but it looks like it is. So yeah, there it is guys. This is the Nekromantik Blu-ray. Now remember, this is a Super 8 film. So having it on Blu-ray, I can't imagine it looking much better than the DVD you have. I mean, the dark scenes still look very dark and hard to see. It looks like they tried to lighten them, but the dark scenes, trying to lighten them, just make them look gray. You know, it doesn't really bring out any additional detail. And yeah, so there it is, guys. If you think it's worth it to get this new Blu-ray for the features, then go for it. But really, if you're only vaguely interested in the movie, just stick with the DVD. I mean, you're not going to get a much better picture quality this time around because, once again, like I said, it was only shot on Super 8. So, this has been Paul with VHSCollector.com, and I will see you guys next time.